listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This is the Cisco edition, taking your business a level up. Let's get into it.
Welcome to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your host, Keri Roberts, and my guests today are Craig Parsons, a Senior Business Transformation Manager at Ingram Micro, and Jim Bennett, a Senior Support Rep at Ingram Micro within the Cisco Business Unit. Welcome, Craig and Jim. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, Keri. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Ingram Micro has a ton of great services for its partners. We talk about them all the time on this show. And today we're talking about another one called Partner Go for Cisco. Partner Go offers access to things like order status, quotes, and Cisco direct ship ordering. Can you tell us a little bit more about the value of this feature for partners and why it was created?
Sure. So we had a number of our Cisco partners reach out to us over the years asking us to help them with kind of the Cisco sales cycle and how they interact with Cisco and interact with Ingram Micro to help improve the process for their end users. And so what we did was we created a feature within our Ingram Micro website called I Am Online for our Cisco partners to be able to self-service and manage their Cisco business. This allows them to focus more on the sales and on their end users rather than the post-transaction and a lot of the SLA issues that they've seen in the past. So it's really a self-service tool to allow them to manage their services.
And of course, Partner Go also takes the friction out of the sales cycle, which is great because Cisco's offerings have become much more robust. I'm curious, what type of conversations were you having with partners over the years that led to the creation of this?
Well, partners over the years talked about how after an order was placed, they spent more time managing that order than they did going out there trying to create new business or be able to go out there and try to drive new business towards new end users. So what we tried to do was help them with automating that back-end process of tracking their orders, getting status information. And then as we started to improve on that, they came to us and said, this is great, but now how can you help me go out there and sell more business, get quicker turnaround to my customers and be able to go out there and touch new partners? So what we've done is created a path for them to go in here and actually create quotes within minutes, be able to place orders via those quotes. So we're really trying to take both the front end and back end work and those emails and phone calls that they had to do chasing down information and put that into this self-service tool for them to be able to get on their own.
Now, of course, data is important, whether it's qualitative or quantitative, but you did do actual interviews for this. And I'm curious, why is doing actual interviews with your clients in some ways more important than the numerical data for Ingram Micro? And what value does it provide when you're making decisions on how to improve the customer experience that maybe numbers don't offer?
That's a good question. So when you look at what we see on our side, when we're looking at numbers of transactions and how many customer touch points there are and things like that, we're looking at it from our view. But in the Partner Go interview process, and as we've gone through down, this whole development side, what we looked at was how are we really going to improve the customer experience? What do customers really want? So rather than looking at just the data that we see from our order placement and quoting, we wanted to know from a customer, how can we help improve this on their side? So they gave us the info back of if you were able to automate the quoting process, if you were able to validate our configurations, if you could give us notifications if something changed on Cisco's end, that would really help us move forward and go out there and build our business. So we really looked at it as at not just improving the Ingram performance, but how do we improve the customer experience working with Ingram Micro? And that was our focus, and you can't get that by data.
Yeah, I had someone I spoke to recently that talked about qualitative research is about the why something is working or not. So I think that's a perfect example of what you're talking about. Now, because there is less friction on the sales rep side with Partner Go, there's less friction, of course, on the customer side, which results in less time and effort in making the sale. Why is eliminating friction in the sales process so important?
Yeah, so it's obviously important to the easy answer, give time back to the customer, right? Instead of spending time going through all these different processes and asking for information and gathering all this data, they can actually spend time, working with their customers, asking them questions, helping, upsell if they need it, things like that. It's not sending data from one point to another and they're not bogged down doing all of this kind of busy work. We automate that for them. It takes it off of their hands to really focus on their customers' needs. They can do, take that other time to learn more, aspects of the technology world, right? It's ever changing. If they're just so busy sending data from one place to another, they have time to learn. Now that maybe frees them up to, learn about a new product out there that they can then go sell to their customers, especially within the Cisco world, which is changing constantly and adding new offers constantly. So.
Do you have any other suggestions on more ways partners can eliminate friction in their sales cycle? Because I think this is something that partners are constantly trying to improve.
Well, I can say that Jim and I have had a number of conversations with partners over the past few years where I think the value comes from our Ingram Micro team deals with a number of different partners on a daily basis. And we can actually review with them what their sales cycle looks like, what their sales process looks like, even their operations process, and try to help them understand how we can get involved to improve that process. Are there ways that we can automate it, or are there things they could be doing differently based on what other partners have done? So I think that's a really big advantage to working with Ingram Micro is the team that we have has been around and is able to help them improve and discuss what they're doing today.
Yeah, like we said, we continue to hear on this show just the amount of services that Ingram does offer to help its partners. And I truly think it's wonderful. You are acting as a partner to help them in every single way. What are some other things that are coming in this next year for the Partner Go portal that partners can get excited about?
Well, I don't want to give away too many of my secrets or anything that Jim and I are working on, but I will tell you that we have a list of feedback from partners of features that they would like and enhancements that they would like. So I can tell you that the partners can expect us to improve a lot of our Cisco services and renewals, quoting and visibility, as well as adding additional features around the subscription and annuity that Cisco is now changing to. So partners can be excited of a lot of the time that they're spending now on renewals and annuities. They can look forward to some enhancements next year around that.
On a personal note, love that you talked about the value of qualitative research. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with companies and tech companies about ROI and just numerical data, but it's important to understand why and how to fix things. And I think it's great that you brought that to light in this conversation.
That's the reason we call it Partner Go, is it's basically about the partners, right? So we want to make sure that we touch on that, touch on the fact that these guys, the features are based off of what they're asking for. And hopefully we did that.
We ask this question on the show all the time. Now, you can talk in terms of technology as a whole, or even in specifically of what we're discussing today. But where do you see technology going within the next year? And Craig, I'll start with you.
Sure. So I believe that there's going to be a major push towards more automation, Keri. I think partners are seeing that there is an opportunity here for them to take the resources they currently have and go out there and put them towards driving new business rather than managing the business they have. So I see more towards APIs, more towards some sort of automation between the vendors, the partners, and even the partners and the end users. So I think Ingram Micro is going to play a big role in that. And I do believe that automation is the key to growing the business in the future.
Jim, your thoughts on this?
Sure. So yeah, I was going to mention automation too. I think it's kind of a no-brainer with, working on this Partner Go tool that Craig and I have been helping to develop. But I think with that too, the, artificial intelligence, machine learning, I think is only going to continue to grow and help take, that numerical data we talked about before and kind of just figure all of that out in that automated space and make it much more powerful and useful for us to use.
Now, if people want to learn more about what we talked about, they want to access the new Partner Go portal, where can they do that or ask questions?
The first team that they can contact is their Ingram Micro sales rep. And that sales rep will get us and get them in touch with the Cisco rep that is assigned to them, or they will involve them and I to answer any of their questions. Or they
Perfect.
can also go to ingrammicro.com, and PartnerGo is easy accessible through there.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing your insight with us today. And we are excited to hear about more things to come for the portal.
Well, thank you, Keri.
Yeah, thank you, Keri. Appreciate it.
If you like this episode or have a question, join the discussion on Twitter at Ingram TechSol with the hashtag B2B Tech Talk. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, Cisco Edition, taking your business a level up, hosted by Keri Roberts. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production by Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To not miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast platform.